All right, talking this football, you ready to get to power rankings?
Let's do it.
I'm excited for this one.
I'm excited to hear yours.
So, obviously, I'm on weekly. So, last week, my power rankings, 10 through 1, were Bills, Cowboys, Rams, Dolphins, Texans, Ravens, Eagles, Lions, 49ers, Chiefs.
You had 49ers that low, huh?
Oh, I went 10 to 1. I had 49ers number 2.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I got to keep the tension there, the anticipation. So now week 2, I have my 10. Natalie, I want to hear yours. We'll go through ours.
Should I start from 10 or should I start from 1?
Yeah, start from 10.
I'm gonna follow your lead. All right. Well, 10. You might not agree with this, but I have the Lions at 10.
Whoa, low.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like it's power rankings. I can have fun with it. So,
yes, 1,000%.
I'm putting the Lions at 10. And I think, you know what, it's unexpected in a way how well they're doing, because I feel like the Detroit Lions and Detroit sports in general are kind of a laughing stock of a lot of professional sports. But they're moving the ball down the field, but where they struggle is the red zone area. Mm-hmm. That's where it matters. 1 for 7 in red zone.
Lost to the Bucs, yeah.
Yeah. So that execution, they got to finish that. They got to finish those drives, get some points, explosive defense. You can win games with field goals, but not always. Especially when you're playing really good teams. So although they lost to Tampa, I thought the defense was good. Gave them a chance to win the game, but they didn't capitalize. I don't know if they'll stay in my top 10 next week. We'll see.
All right. Mm-hmm. So my 10 spot, I go Steelers. They went unranked. Yeah. They're 2-0, 2 road wins. Mm-hmm. Fields just 1 turnover through 2 weeks. Elite defense. I don't know how long defense can keep it up. But I was like, same thing. I'm like, it's week 2. I'm going to have fun with it. You're 2-0 with both your wins coming on the road and your defense is handled. Yeah. And then even in week 1, you won with all field goals. I'm going to give them a nod at number 10 spot for me.
There's that field goal point, huh?
Yep.
That's kind of cool. I mean, hey, sometimes it works. Seattle, I have as 9.
I like that.
And you know what? I think part of me, I was impressed with Seattle. It's kind of so far this year. I feel like they've just kind of been steady, and that's the key to success there. Just keep it consistent, stay steady on the field. I'm interested to see how their defense is going to play up against Miami when they're missing Tua. Mm-hmm. So I think that'll be a good indicator as to how impressed I am with them. But so far, I think I've liked what I've seen.
Seattle's been good. I should have them on my top 10, but beating the Broncos and Bo Nix, it was a good Patriots win. And they made the plays they had to, especially in the clutch time. Yeah. Damn, I kind of snubbed them from my list. If anything, I should have put in 10 over the Steelers. So I like your list so far.
Oh, thanks. Thanks so much.
9, I went Saints. I mean, this offense is just absurd.
That's so low for the
I don't
Saints.
know, but I don't. It's the Panthers that they beat, and I just don't know how good they actually are. But to beat the snot out of the Cowboys like they did, that's what stood out to me. And Derek Carr is averaging 11.4 yards per attempt. That's insane. 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. They're scoring at a historic rate. I need to see more. I'm still not a believer in the Saints, but I like what Clint Kubiak's doing with that offense, so I have them at 9.
Okay. Well, I'm glad they're in your top 10 at least, because I like them. 8, I'm going to go with Eagles.
Same. I have the same exact spot.
Oh, cool. Look at that, George. Anyways, I think Hurts, he's reliable. He's mobile. At times, it seems like he's rushing, though, so I think that's kind of hurt him with the mistakes that he's made. So they're 1-1, lost 1-1-1. I think it's still early so that with the mistakes that they've made, they can correct those. They can figure out a way to get past them, just kind of clean it up. Let me see here. What else do I have? Devontae Smith. He's easy to find on the field, obviously. Yeah. Barkley, he missed a big catch, but you know what? I think stuff like that is going to happen. He can fix it.
If he catches that, he turns upfield. Exactly. He might have scored. Yeah. And they'd be 2-0, and they'd be much higher up.
Right. So that was kind of like the one thing that kind of put him at 8 for me. But otherwise, I think they're pretty good to keep in the 10.
I had them in the 4 spot, so I docked them a lot for that loss. But it was like no defensive line, no offensive continuity. I don't know how long A.J. Brown's out. I don't know how long Nick Sirianni could keep this locker room together. So that's why I docked them all the way down to 8. Okay. At 7, I did put the Chargers. So again, unranked to number 7. Yeah. 2-0. But again, and I know I said the Saints only beat the Panthers. They've only beaten the Raiders and the Panthers, but they've allowed 13 points in 2 games. They're running the ball pretty much 60% of the time. And we know teams will be run heavy, but for them to get what they're getting from J.K. Dobbins, a resurgence, how good this offensive line is. With Jim Harbaugh, they're going to play smart football, and they still have Justin Herbert. I have them going from unranked to 7. And, when the Patriots got that week 1 win, right, I was like, all right, they might win more than 4 games. Yeah. Because that end of the season game, hosting the Chargers, I'm like, they beat the LA Chargers. But now looking at what the Chargers do, I don't give that as a win anymore.
Really?
Yes, there's the West to East Coast swing, but how good this LA team is, and just like it's simple, smart football, what they're doing. And you know what, Jim Harbaugh team, you get a well-coached one. That's why I'm bumping this Chargers team up. And then a win I saw for the Patriots, now I'm getting iffy, especially that late in the year.
I like that analysis of the Chargers. Honestly, I didn't put the Chargers on my list. Do you have the Patriots anywhere in your list?
No.
I was going to say me neither. No. For me, 7 was the Jets. Actually, I know I've said this, might be a hot take, not sure. I think Aaron Rodgers is he's overrated in general, but like he's still a good QB. Like he still can do things.
Both can be true.
Yes. Like, I don't know. He's a weird dude, but like he's
you don't do darkness retreats and like ayahuasca on the weekends?
Not usually, no, do you?
Right before the show. Quick swig of ayahuasca, and then I go and record all the pods.
No wonder you came in so happy. Anyways, Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't look bad. I think, again, like he can do things that not a lot of people in this world can do, period. So I think coming back this season, he doesn't look bad so far. I think the defense looks okay. I think 3 sacks from Will McDonald was a good sign this past week. They can run the ball. It seems like Rodgers is utilizing the run game a little bit, just kind of clean it up. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I don't think. I mean, that's my analysis there. I don't really have any more to add.
The Jets, the defensive line concerns me. Like they get pushed around. But if Rodgers continues and the offense gets better week by week with him and Garrett Wilson, then there will be something there.
Right.
At the 6th spot, I went Buccaneers.
Okay.
I think Baker's a gamer. They're 2-0.
Right.
And they beat the Lions in Detroit. And like to your point of you say the Lions went 1 for 7 in the red zone, like that defense stood up when it needed to.
Yeah.
And Baker in a game where he was sacked 5 times, like to overcome that, they're a team that can score on offense, but they won ugly. And I like that they won out of their style and they find a way. That's why I put the Bucs up here. And especially it's like Baker going off week 1 and then beating the Lions week 2 is one of the best teams in the NFL, in my opinion. That's why I bumped them up unranked to 6th. And they're 2-0 leading their division.
That's not a bad way to put it. I kind of like that point. They didn't like it wasn't a pretty win, but it's not the pretty ones that get it done. If you can win ugly,
that's and like out of your style because they have good quarterback, 2 really good receivers. They can run the ball and their defense is solid, but it's also injured.
Right.
Exactly. Just like you find a way to win and like you need teams that can do that. Compared to like a Dolphins team, they don't know how to do that. They have to win their way or no other way. This Buccaneers team can.
Well, that kind of reflects like the intellect of the players. You know, if it's out of their style, the way they can just react to those moments.
But find a way and adapt. Anyways. Who do you have at 6?
The Vikings. This is what I was excited to talk about. Okay, so we're having fun. It's week 3, whatever. Vikings. Okay, so I thought the defense pressured Brock Purdy really well. And first of all, they beat the 49ers. So that was like cool, really cool to see. I lived in Minnesota for a while, so I kind of respect the
That's
fan
why you're
base.
excited about this one. That's right. That's right.
I used to cover news stories just on Vikings fans in general. And like being a Patriots person, New Englander, it was crazy to see the fan base, how passionate they were, even though the team wasn't great. They just lose all the time. It was like they loved their team. So I'm happy to see the Vikings actually giving them something to cheer for. Brock Purdy, I think he was pressured by the D. I don't think he was able to pass too efficiently. He was sacked 6 times. So from preseason to week 2, I feel, the Vikings have yet to lose a game. So, I mean, they're on this high. Will this come to an end? Yes, it will. But it's been great to see. It's a good reflection, the team chemistry. I think the QB, Sam Darnold, he's done a nice job driving the offense. He's Brock Purdy's backup last year, 27 years old. I just love what he's doing, and I think the fact that he was able to lead the Vikings team to a win over the 49ers and Brock Purdy, I think that's a pretty cool moment for the kid. Yeah, definitely for him to go from like Jets pick, ends up in San Fran, sits for a year, goes to that Kevin O'Connell system in Minnesota. It's continuity. And to your point, and I'll put it on why I still like the Niners, but everything they did, blocked a punt, forced a turnover on downs twice, the 97-yard touchdown pass to Justin Jefferson. They went off. I like you having the Vikings on your top 10. So you have like 2 picks. I'm like, I should have put them in there. Vikings, I don't think I would have, but they beat the Niners. No, this is good. 5 spot, I put the Bills. So they were 10 last week for me. I bumped them up 5 spots. Their offensive line's been stellar. They just dominated the Dolphins at the line of scrimmage. They're, again, finding ways to win. And I know everyone's factoring like Josh Allen without his receiving core, but week 1, it was Josh Allen with magic. Week 2, it was James Cook, who's one of the very underrated backs in the league. He has an injury to his left non-throwing hand. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't affect his game at all. Right. But what they were able to do, and their defensive line, a guy like Von Miller, up there in age, where he's kind of recreating his game on getting to the quarterback,
There's a lot going well there early on in the season. I just like how they play in the trenches. So that's why I put the Bills at the 5 spot.
That's interesting. And I'm glad you, I'm trying to research it right now. Von Miller, he was on Dancing with the Stars too.
Did he win it?
I don't know. That's what I was trying to figure out. No, he was voted off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyways, I really liked him on Dancing with the Stars. That's how I was first exposed to who he was. But I think that's a really good point. I have the Bills a little higher, but 5 for me. And I think this was a little bit of a mistake as we talk through this. But I have the Texans as number 5. I feel like they have to clean up a bit. They're not finishing drives, committing penalties, but I think they're doing okay so far. They beat the Steelers, Rams, Giants preseason, Colts in week 1, Bears in week 2. Obviously, Caleb Williams, Nico Collins, they're great key pieces to have. I think CJ Stroud is Strouding as always, but
good way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like it's early in the season, so the things that are going on right now are totally correctable. Yeah. If they can just fine-tune all of that, I think they'd be a top 3, no problem.
I like that call. 4 spot, I went Lions. Lost a good Buccaneers team at home. 1 touchdown, 7 red zone trips, like you said. This roster's still very talented.
Yeah.
Catch your licks early. Get humbled. I think they'll be good. I keep it short and simple with them. I think they're still a top 5 team. I docked them 1 spot, but they're the 4 spot. 3 spot, I went 49ers. And that's coming off a loss to the Vikings. Didn't look good. And now Deebo Samuel and CMC are out. We'll see how long they're out for.
Yep.
CMC, we know he's on the IR. Still a really good team. They'll find ways to win. I'm not worried about them. But I went them from 2 to 3 after that loss.
Okay, so my 4, I have 49ers. I think they've got everything that they need, but Christian McCaffrey out for at least 4 weeks. I think that's a key piece they're missing. So maybe health-wise, I'd probably switch them with the Texans right now, and I think you kind of did that as well. But 3 for me was the Saints. Their offense kind of came out of nowhere. I have no idea where it came from, but I love it. Again, it's still early, so this could end soon. They're run. I don't know. But they beat Carolina. Okay, yeah. Beat the Cowboys. That was the key piece.
That's impressive.
I'd like to see them against
Dallas.
the Eagles. Yeah. So I think whatever this next game is, I think that's going to determine the route in which they're going. Are they going to continue to be this like unheard of team right now, offense, and Derek Carr, he's 30 for 39, new offensive coordinator
and
there
Clint
too.
Kubiak.
Yep. So 2 for me was the Bills.
I like that. Oh, Bills at 2. Cool. Yeah. I think that's a good spot with Josh Allen. I put the Texans at 2. Yeah. But that's when it gets interesting with all the overlap. Their defensive line was just so dominant against the Bears. Nico Collins and CJ Stroud looked so good. And again, the offense, they had to find a way to win because that Bears defense was great. But the Texans offense stepped up when it needed to, but the defense stood out to me. I'll put them at 2. No surprise who we both have 1. Process of elimination.
3, 2, 1. Chiefs.
Taylor Swift.
You know what? And I'm going to say it. It's funny. I was talking to Ante before this. I saw I've seen videos. I'm going to say multiple. People are telling Travis Kelce to break up with his girlfriend and figure out how to play football again. Do you agree with this?
No, that's not affecting it.
No.
It's just... In week 1, it was Mahomes, it was Xavier Worthy, it was his outside weapons. Yep. Again, it was Rashee Rice stepping up. Don't worry about Travis Kelce week 1 and 2. Worry about Travis Kelce week 15, 16, 17 in the playoffs. They'll let him by. He doesn't need to break up with Taylor Swift. He's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, he's just getting a little older. I think, Ian Rappaport actually tweeted out today, the Chiefs are signing their own former star, Kareem Hunt, who visited with
Isaiah Pacheco going down.
Yep, exactly. So, that might be a good way to fill the void. But Chiefs, they've got what they need. They
got dudes on the outside. The one touchdown pass, they had Rashee Rice, who's like a slant, just like that's all he runs is slants and quick screens. They had him literally fake the slant, go on a fly route. It completely cooked the cornerback on that. Like those adjustments, Andy Reid being smart and showing that versatility by a guy like Rashee Rice, I think that's what's huge for his team. I like your power rankings.
I like yours too, George.
You have good surprises in there. Vikings,
thank you.
Seahawks.
Yeah, we'll see about the Seahawks. The Vikings, I'm really going to root for them this year, I think.
Purple people eaters.